Okay, so here we are, the respiratory system. So fun fact, mine today just doesn't work. I'm sick, I have a stuffed nose, my head and my throat are doing their own thing, so if I sound a little bit strange today, I apologize. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun video, and I guess let's get right into it. So what is the respiratory system? The respiratory system is composed of the lungs, airways, trachea, bronchi and bronchioles, diaphragm, voice box, larynx, throat, pharynx, nose and mouth. Its main function is to enable breathing, taking in oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide. Oxygen is essential for the body's cells to produce energy, while the removal of CO2 prevents harmful acidity in the blood. Beyond breathing, the respiratory system also protects against particles, dust and germs entering the body, allows smell by transmitting sensory signals from the nasal cavity to the brain through the olfactory nerve, and enables speech through the vibration of the vocal cords as air passes through the larynx. Supporting structures such as muscles, blood vessels and the ribcage help protect and operate the respiratory system. The system works closely with the circulatory system, ensuring that oxygen is distributed to all cells and that CO2 is efficiently removed. The respiratory system can be divided into two main regions, the upper respiratory tract and the lower respiratory tract. The upper respiratory tract includes the nose, nasal cavity, mouth, sinuses, pharynx, the throat, and larynx, the voice box. Its main tasks are to bring air into the body, filter it and prepare it for the lungs by adding moisture and warmth. Tiny hair-like structures called cilia and mucus help trap dust, germs and irritants. When irritants are trapped, the body removes them by coughing or sneezing, clearing mucus and maintaining clear airways. The sinuses help regulate the temperature and humidity of inhaled air, while the nasal passages direct airflow and contribute to the sense of smell. The lower respiratory tract includes the trachea, windpipe, bronchi, bronchioles and lungs. The trachea divides into the bronchi, which branch into smaller and smaller bronchioles, forming what is called the tracheobronchial tree. This branching network carries air deep into the lungs, where it ends in microscopic air sacs called alveoli. The alveoli are the primary sites of gas exchange between air and blood. The diaphragm, a large dome-shaped muscle located below the lungs, plays a critical role in breathing by contracting and relaxing to control air movement. The pleura is a thin membrane surrounding the lungs, forming a protective sac that allows smooth movement during breathing. The hilum is the area where blood vessels and nerves enter and exit the lungs. A substance called surfactant reduces surface tension within the alveoli, allowing them to expand easily during inhalation. Okay, so what is technically breathing? Breathing or pulmonary ventilation is the process of moving air in and out of the lungs. It involves two main phases: inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation, or inspiration, is when the diaphragm contracts and moves downward, while the rib cage expands, increasing chest volume. This creates a pressure difference that draws air into the lungs. Exhalation or expiration is when the diaphragm relaxes and moves upward, and the rib cage returns to its normal position. The lungs compress, pushing CO2 out of the body. Breathing can be both voluntary and automatic, regulated by the respiratory centers in the brainstem. During sleep or rest, breathing slows to conserve energy, while physical activity speeds it up to meet oxygen demand. Nose breathing is considered the natural and preferred method of respiration because it filters, warms, and humidifies air more efficiently. Prolonged mouth breathing may lead to headaches, fatigue, decreased oxygen levels, and poor posture. Gas exchange occurs in the alveoli, where oxygen from inhaled air passes into nearby capillaries and carbon dioxide from the blood diffuses out into the lungs to be exhaled. Oxygenated blood is then transported by the circulatory system throughout the body, while the respiratory system removes CO2 to maintain balanced blood pH. Too much CO2 can make blood acidic, leading to a condition called respiratory acidosis. This constant exchange ensures that every cell receives oxygen for metabolism and that waste gases are efficiently removed. The respiratory system performs several important secondary roles. So we've got speech production. Air passing through the larynx vibrates the vocal cords, enabling speech. We've got smell. Inhaled air stimulates olfactory receptors in the nasal cavity, sending sensory signals to the brain. We've also got air conditioning. Inhaled air is warmed and moistened to match body temperature and humidity. And finally, we've got acid-base regulation. By controlling the rate of CO2 removal, the lungs help maintain stable blood pH levels. The system also supports immune defense by filtering and removing foreign particles before they reach deeper parts of the lungs. So of course the respiratory system will not work alone. The respiratory system works in close cooperation with several other systems. The cardiovascular system. The lungs and heart function together to circulate oxygen-rich blood and remove carbon dioxide. This connection also helps regulate heart rate, cardiac output, and blood pressure. With the nervous system, it controls the rate and depth of breathing based on oxygen and CO2 levels detected by receptors in the brain and blood vessels. And with the lymphatic and immune systems, it helps remove pathogens and maintains fluid balance around the lungs. Together, these systems ensure that oxygen delivery, carbon dioxide removal, and immune protection are synchronized for overall health. So of course, the respiratory system won't just work with those four systems, which are the cardiovascular, nervous system, lymphatic, and immune systems, but it works with the whole body. Because imagine not breathing. Complicated, no? You will just not be alive anymore. So yeah, with that being said, we will get into how to support and enhance the respiratory system. Before starting this section, I want to warn you, this is not a medical advice. Of course, I'm not a doctor, and these are advices I have read from reliable sources, and if you want those sources, they will be linked down in the description. Maintaining respiratory health involves strengthening the lungs, improving breathing efficiency, and avoiding harmful habits and environmental risks. So, aerobic activities such as walking, jogging, cycling, and swimming strengthen the respiratory muscles, increase lung capacity, and improve oxygen intake. Moderate to high-intensity exercises build endurance and make breathing easier over time. High-intensity interval training challenges the lungs and improves VO2 max. VO2 max is a measure of how efficiently your body uses oxygen. And staying active overall prevents stiffness in the chest and promotes better lung expansion. Brisk walking alone can improve lung function and circulation. Consistency is key. Even light daily movement supports lung health. Controlled breathing techniques such as diaphragmatic breathing, pursed lip breathing, rib stretch exercises, and yogic breathing can increase lung efficiency, reduce shortness of breath, and promote relaxation. While these methods are effective, combining them with aerobic or resistance exercise yields the best results for overall respiratory strength and endurance. Respiratory muscle training devices such as breathing resistance masks create resistance when you inhale, forcing your diaphragm and intercostal muscles to work harder. These can increase lung capacity, endurance, and resistance to fatigue. Although some training masks were designed to stimulate high-altitude environments, research shows that their main benefit is muscle strengthening, not increasing red blood cell count. Strength training of the chest and core muscles also enhances breathing mechanics by improving posture and stability. Chest physiotherapy includes treatments that help remove mucus and improve airflow, especially for people with respiratory diseases like asthma, COPD, bronchitis, bronchiectasis, or cystic fibrosis. Results include clearer airways, better lung compliance, and easier breathing. However, it is not routinely recommended for all adults with pneumonia. The incentives parameter is another useful tool, particularly after surgery or during recovery from illness. It encourages deep breathing to expand the lungs and prevent complications. Contraindications include active infection, unknown bleeding, hemoptysis, pneumothorax, aneurysms, or recent thoracic and abdominal surgery. Medical supervision is essential. Staying upright when sitting or resting allows the lungs to expand fully, improving oxygen intake and comfort. You also need to maintain a lung-friendly lifestyle. To protect the respiratory system, avoid smoking and vaping. These introduce harmful chemicals like tar and carbon monoxide, which reduce oxygen levels and cause inflammation and lung damage. Limit exposure to pollutants such as secondhand smoke, industrial chemicals, and radon. Wear a mask in polluted areas. Stay hydrated. Water keeps mucus thin and easier to clear. Maintain a healthy weight. Excess fat, especially around the abdomen, can compress the lungs, while being underweight may weaken respiratory muscles. Avoid excessive humidity to prevent mold growth, which can trigger allergies and respiratory irritation. And also get quality sleep. During rest, the body slows breathing, allowing tissue repair and muscle recovery. Also, a balanced, nutrient-rich diet helps protect the lungs and boost immune defense. So we've got all our four pillars, which are physical activity, nutrition, hydration, and sleep or rest. So for the nutrition, key nutrients include antioxidants from berries, spinach, and carrots, protect lung cells from damage. Vitamin C from citrus fruits strengthens immunity and helps fight infections. Omega-3 fatty acids from fish and flax seeds reduce inflammation. Garlic and ginger have natural anti-inflammatory and mucus clearing effects, and water keeps airways moist and prevents irritation. You can also get vaccinated. Flu and pneumonia vaccines help prevent respiratory infections. Manage stress and practice relaxation. It lowers tension in breathing muscles and supports lung function. Of course, use laughter, movement, and simple exercises. Active movement, even small actions like toe wiggling or laughing deeply, can support better airflow and circulation. The respiratory system can be affected by numerous conditions ranging from mild to life-threatening. So here I will just be listing all the disorders or the conditions that can affect the respiratory system. I will not make a description, because if I do, the video will take like half an hour, or if I get into the details, an hour. So I will just list them, and if you want to do your own researches, go on and have fun. Common disorders include allergic rhinitis, asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or COPD, cystic fibrosis, bronchitis and pneumonia, sinusitis, interstitial lung disease, respiratory blockages, acid-base imbalances, hypoxemia, hypoxia, and hypercapnia. Common symptoms of respiratory issues include shortness of breath, dyspnea, coughing with or without mucus or blood, wheezing, chest pain or pressure, runny or stuffy nose, sore throat, fever, blue-tinted skin, lips or nails, also called cyanosis. So here are some diagnostic tests to help you evaluate lung function and oxygen levels. Pulse oximetry, pulmonary function tests, chest x-rays, and arterial blood gas tests. But of course, let's look into the bright side, which is treatments and medical care. Treatment depends on the cause of the condition and may include inhaled corticosteroids or bronchodilators. They help open airways and reduce inflammation for asthma, COPD, etc. Antibiotics, antivirals or antifungals, they are for infections. Antihistamines and leukotriene modifiers are for allergic reactions. Pulmonary rehabilitation are exercises and educations to improve breathing. Surgery for tumors or blockages, and lung transplant for end-stage lung diseases. Always consult a healthcare provider before starting or changing treatments. So, the summary. The respiratory system sustains life by delivering oxygen, removing carbon dioxide, and protecting the body from airborne threats. Its efficiency depends on healthy lungs, clear airways, strong muscles, and a balanced lifestyle. By engaging in regular exercise, eating well, avoiding pollutants, and maintaining overall fitness, you can greatly enhance your lung capacity and resilience, ensuring every breath supports your body's energy, strength, and longevity. So this was the respiratory system. I hope you liked and learned something new, and we will meet next week for the digestive system. Take care.